Today is January 4th, 2026. My wife and I were laid off at the same time. I'm recording this rare moment.
难得的时刻。
今年失业的人太多了。
There are too many unemployed people this year. I'm over 30 and have been unemployed for half a month. Today, I want to ask everyone a heartbreaking question. If you quit your job and have no income, do you have anyone to rely on or a way out? Don't lie. Some people can rely on their parents, some can rely on their spouse. So who do you rely on? Due to the increasing public resentment towards the CCP's authoritarian rule, a video has recently circulated on China's social media platforms. A man holding a slingshot shooting at surveillance cameras along the street. After the footage was circulated, many netizens viewed it as a form of resistance against intensive surveillance, with numerous cheers appearing in the comments section. The leaked surveillance footage was labeled Wenchuan Road Civil Explosives Company. This man holding a slingshot walks in the middle of the road, first firing projectiles towards a building on his left, then quickening his pace and hitting the camera which was recording, causing the image to blur instantly, leaving only the cracked marks. Many mainland netizens responded in the comments section with sarcastic remarks, so accurate, talented, want to sponsor him. Netizens on the X platform also left comments. There are cameras everywhere, but bicycles, phones, even children are lost and can't be found. It's okay to destroy them. I suggest everyone to do the same thing. Remember to wear masks. If all Chinese people are this brave, China will be saved. This is a true example of anti-communism. I've always felt that China's democratization process must begin with destroying surveillance cameras. Brother, when you rise up in rebellion, do a good job. The people should vigorously promote this. In the urban landscape of contemporary mainland China, surveillance cameras have become a ubiquitous infrastructure. From main roads to deep alleys, dense lenses weave a tight visual network. However, this has long been a subject of controversy in society. In traffic enforcement, cameras are extremely efficient, capturing violations, issuing fines, and recording demerit points are almost never wrong. However, when it comes to truly critical public safety issues, such as a missing minor or solving major cases, these cameras often prove useless. When questioned by families or the public, the official explanation is often equipment malfunction, missing footage, or lack of coverage. This happens frequently, constantly eroding public trust in the public surveillance system. Some practices by the CCP authorities have sparked growing public discontent. Recently, a video purportedly filmed on a street in Guangzhou circulated online, showing a young man seemingly being detained by police, angrily shouting denunciations of the Communist Party. This video, allegedly filmed by a Russian tourist on January 31st in Guangzhou's Beijing Road Commercial District, shows a shirtless man with his hands tied walking back and forth on the street, repeatedly shouting, "Aren't the lives of the poor important?" and hurling profanities at the Communist Party. A girl in a pink dress stands next to him and some clothing is scattered on the ground. It's unclear if there are other items. Several police officers are present, attracting a crowd of onlookers. The person filming the video is unaware of what is happening, simply adding Russian subtitles asking, "Who understands Chinese? What did he say?" Many netizens commented that if a Chinese person had filmed this scene instead of a foreign tourist, the video would likely have been deleted, and the person filming might have faced trouble. Some netizens commented, "Salute to the hero. The CCP's days are numbered, its demise is near." Other netizens expressed concern for his safety, commenting, "This child is in danger. I hope he survives and saves his organs. Kid, you're awake. I wish you find like-minded people to fight together. You can't change anything alone. You'll only harm yourself." One netizen said, "The people should unite. The oppression is suffocating. So many living people have lost their organs, and now the pressure of life is so great, they're desperate. They can't even survive without earning money." On January 22nd, the CCP officially released data stating that in December 2025, the unemployment rate for young people aged 16 to 24 in China will be 16.5%. However, some argue that although the figure seems high, it still doesn't accurately reflect the true employment situation for young people in China. This is because the CCP statistics only include the unemployment rate of urban youth, excluding students and young people living in rural areas. Furthermore, the CCP's definition of employment is relatively lenient, as long as 1 hour or more per week is considered employed. Therefore, the large number of self-employed individuals and even full-time children, the youth who totally rely on their parents in cities, are not included in this statistic.
所以哭这件事情很
Although crying is embarrassing and I'm not good at speaking in front of the camera, I still want to share my feelings. It's been 2 years since I graduated and I'm still preparing for the civil service exam. But the recruitment is so low. In Linyi, they're only recruiting 4 people in my subject area, 4 in total. Including vocational school graduates, there should be 2 more. Is it true that graduation equals unemployment?
现在真的是毕业即失业。
The blogger laments that many people choose to study at teacher training colleges, thinking they can at least get a teaching job after graduation, but they find employment extremely difficult, and even becoming a teacher is not possible. Many teacher training graduates cannot find suitable jobs for a long time and are almost in a state of having nothing to do. Meanwhile, the demand for teachers appears to have shrunk dramatically, with only a handful of positions available each year. No matter how hard one prepares for the exams, the final acceptance rate is often disproportionate to the effort put in. Blogger Fatty Dao said he was suddenly laid off at the age of 42, lamenting that he was the most unfortunate working person in Shenzhen. Previously, he worked as a designer and draftsman in an office building, earning around $4,300 a month, a stable job. His family had a monthly mortgage payment of $1,000, and his daughter was studying in Shenzhen. Life wasn't luxurious, but it was comfortable. He never expected that his peaceful life would suddenly be put on hold.
我疯狂的去找工作。
During that time, I crazily searched for jobs. At 42, most of the resumes I sent out didn't even get read. Several small companies were willing to hire me, but they basically offered half the salary and required me to work 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. I did the math. If I accepted my current salary, after deducting the mortgage and living expenses, the remaining money would probably only cover my daughter's school fees. It's not enough. Do I have to keep struggling for another 10 years or so?
还要继续奋斗10几个年头吗？
我可能要活不下去了。
I might not be able to survive. It's already the end of June and I still haven't found a job. How many people are unemployed like me? It's been 3 months. Every day I lie in my rented room watching videos, sleeping and spacing out. I'm anxious every day and my hair is falling out like crazy. I only eat 1 meal a day. Once a person stops going to work, she really doesn't want to go anymore. It's like she's lost the courage to work.
好像已经没有了工作的勇气。
干了10几年的班。
After working for over 10 years, I finally realized I'm useless. Most people, once unemployed, find they can't do anything. I'm 38 years old this year and I lost my job at a major internet company. To outsiders, your work experience seems good. Finding a job shouldn't be difficult. Your previous salary wasn't low and you should have saved a considerable amount after becoming unemployed. Actually, I'm 38 years old, unable to find suitable work, and have no savings. For years, I, as a Hangzhou drifter, lived a routine life, getting married, having children, buying a home and a car, basically spend all my earnings. After working for over a decade, the spirit is worn down and long lost the initial passion. Now, unemployed, I realize I have no skills whatsoever. People around him offer advice, suggesting he tries setting up a stall, working in social media, delivering food, or driving for a ride-hailing service. But he finds himself directionless and unable to adapt to these jobs. Faced with the pressure of life, he feels completely drained, unsure of what work he can still do or what path to take in the future.
我今天上午去试岗了，然后
I just got back from my trial job this morning. It only lasted 1 morning, which makes me feel not suitable, because normally a trial period is 3 to 7 days. The interview actually went quite well, but I don't know if it's because I've been unemployed for too long, but my mindset isn't quite adapted to the work rhythm, and I also find it a bit difficult to integrate into the environment. As for foreign trade, I've never done it before, so it's my first time, and it's not quite what I imagined. Then I came back, but I still have to look for a job. The thought of having to keep looking for work is making me a little overwhelmed. Have you all found jobs yet?
我真的不知道该找什么样的工作了。
我劝大家
I advise everyone not to have this kind of thinking anymore. Like, if I lose my job, I can just deliver food. At least I'll have a safety net. That doesn't work, bro.
不会只有我一个应届。
Am I the only recent graduate who hasn't found a job yet? My god, I've been looking for months and still haven't found one, guys.
没找到呀，兄弟们。
I feel like graduating is equivalent to being unemployed. Yes, that's right. Graduating is equivalent to being unemployed. I can't find a job.
本人41岁啊。
I'm 41 years old, born in the year of the rat, and have been unemployed for half a year. It's really hard to imagine. I used to be very proactive in my job search. I thought that every time I submitted a resume, I'd get an interview, a normal job interview, and that I'd basically succeed with every application, unless I didn't want the job. However, I think I overestimated myself. I used to submit resumes very actively, but now it feels like I'm getting nowhere. We're 35 or 36 now, 37 or 38, approaching 40 or 40, still young, right? If you don't work, what will you do? And retirement isn't until around 60. The blogger said that if you're over 35, companies often think you're too old, but there's a gap of 20 or 30 years before retirement. How do you spend that long period? Moreover, this year, there are as many as 12 million college graduates who haven't yet been absorbed by the job market. In this context, how should people cope?
被裁员的
My husband's layoff severance pay finally arrived, which is a huge surprise. In May of this year, his boss talked to him, saying he would be laid off. We were worried about not receiving the severance pay. After repeated negotiations, the severance pay finally arrived last week. Last year, his company experienced several rounds of layoffs. We thought the long-term employees would be spared, but his name was on the layoff list this year. This news was like a bolt from the blue for us. For years, I've been a full-time stay-at-home mom, and my husband has been the sole breadwinner. At this age, with elderly parents and young children to support, the pressure of life is already immense. Being laid off means we've lost a stable source of income, which is undoubtedly adding insult to injury for us, who are already struggling financially. Because of this, my husband has been suffering from insomnia. The blogger says that thankfully good news finally arrived last week. Her husband received N+1 severance pay. With this money, her husband plans to use a portion to renovate his parents' house back home, making it more comfortable for them when they come back for the Chinese New Year. The rest will be saved, since they've lost a stable source of income and need to carefully plan their daily expenses.
被降薪还是被裁员？
Pay cut or layoff? I had my pay cut, and my next step, I guess, is to be laid off. I am 40 years old, working while accompanying my child's studies in Shenyang. This is my 12th year living this way. I've never earned a high salary, thinking that ordinary people have their own kind of contentment. But I never expected that the wave of pay cuts and layoffs would reach me. Our wages have been delayed since the real estate industry downturn last year, and just a few days ago, my salary was reduced by 30%. To be honest, I really don't want to do it anymore. My monthly income is less than that of a street cleaner. But it's really hard for a stay-at-home mom with no education or connections to find a stable job that allows her to take care of her child. The blogger mentioned that her mother's leg pain had lasted for several days, and she took her to the hospital for a checkup as soon as she received her salary. The doctor diagnosed it as a meniscus tear in her knee, mainly caused by long-term labor. Her parents are peasants, working hard all their lives, and now that they are older, various health problems are gradually appearing. And now she is facing the predicament of pay cuts and layoffs. The blogger lamented that it was fortunate her husband's income wasn't the problem, otherwise the family might not have been able to survive.
如果你所在的单位
If your company doesn't pay salaries, how long can you hold out? How long can your family's savings support you? Let's talk about the first 2 years here. When we were paid regularly and had performance bonuses, everyone complained about not earning enough. Last year, when we only received base pay and no performance bonuses, we still managed to get by for a whole year. This year, only half a month's salary of $100. Everyone felt like we couldn't live on it, but we still managed to hold out until the end of December. The blogger said that when everyone was expecting the company to pay the remaining salaries, they suddenly received a notice. The remaining salaries would not be paid. The atmosphere instantly exploded. Everyone was furious and said that they had had enough and wanted to quit. However, the blogger later discovered that everyone ultimately chose to silently compromise, and no one mentioned quitting again. She believes the reason is very practical. The current employment situation is severe. Everyone has elderly parents to support and young children to raise. No one dares to risk quitting without a backup plan, and the pressure of living forces everyone to endure it. Someone asked me, "You've been working for 10 years, why did you resign?" I was fired by the company, not resigned. I was doing the lowest level job, and the company accused me of seriously violating rules and regulations. To be honest, I was doing quite well before, but after the change of leadership, it felt like they came with a mission. One after another, the company fired 7 people. Actually, leaving was quite unexpected, and it was quite unwilling. For 10 years, I had maintained good relationships with leaders and colleagues from all walks of life. Later, I thought about it, and it was all premeditated. The new boss dislikes you terribly.
被人事通知。
I was just notified by HR to go through the layoff procedures. I've been laid off. I don't know what to say. I've been with the company for over 10 years, and I'm one of the oldest employees. Everyone's gone to lunch now, and I don't know how to say goodbye. I'll pack my things and leave on my own. The blogger said she's 37 years old this year. Suddenly receiving the layoff notice left her feeling lost, unsure of her future path, of what kind of job she could find. Her mortgage and car loan payments are putting a lot of pressure on her every month, making her feel helpless and unsure how to cope. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.